guys, Pastor Chris here, and I want to welcome you to the Three Circle Podcast. We try to do this every week, but we've taken a few weeks off, so it's really good to be back in the studio, back recording one of these incredible Three Circle podcasts. We call it Beyond the Weekend because, well, you know, we're a church, so a lot of things revolve around the weekend, and that begins on Thursdays for us. And but there's so much more that goes on, so much more ministry, and so this podcast is beyond the weekend. It can range in topics, and today is going to be really special because we have one of our incredible staff team members with us today. He has an amazing story, and he's never been on the podcast. So today, rather than discussing the past weekend's teaching, we're really going to get more into his story and a little bit about the campus that he serves at. I think you're really going to love hearing this story. On the podcast today, we have our brother, the one and only, the incredible
I think you can stop there.
Justin Walker. Good to have you with us, bro.
Hey, it's good to be here. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man. So Justin is and I know you wear multiple hats, but
Right.
the one of the hats, very important, crucial, is you are our student minister at the Midtown Three Circle campus in Mobile.
Yes, sir.
And then tell me how you describe the other hat you wear.
Yeah, it's a Midway director. And so,
Midway director.
Yep. So that's the name of our program, our mentorship program.
Right.
So student pastor and Midway director, multiple hats.
And so let's dive under the hood a little bit because a lot of our listeners, you know, I'm sure if they're part of Three Circle, they're aware of the fact that we are multi-site.
Mhm.
And one of our approaches to multi-sites probably unique in that each one of our campuses are very much, we use the phrase hyper local contextualization,
Right.
meaning that there are things that make all of our campuses Three Circle, but they're very much a reflection of their communities. And we just
Sure.
we think that's most effective. We really do.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's nowhere more evident than at our Midtown campus.
For sure.
So for our listeners who maybe are in Fairhope or Daphne or Thomasville or Foley or whatever, how would you describe the distinctives of our Midtown campus?
Yeah, Midtown is a very special place. Even before I got on staff at Midtown, I fell in love with it. They booked me a couple times to come and DJ the Back to School Bash event, and just fell in love with seeing the older generation with the younger generation. Color barriers broke in there. I mean, you saw everything, and so I was like, "Wow, this is really what the kingdom looks like." And so, what I tell people all the time is, Midtown is a hidden gem, like right there in the heart of Mobile, Alabama. It's a hidden gem. I like to call it our little pot of gumbo. Right? I mean,
I like that.
You got to have everything to add to the flavor in order to have it to be gumbo. And so I think we have a really good pot of gumbo brewing up over in Midtown.
Oh, I love that, man. That's one of the best descriptions of that campus I've ever heard. And also, gumbo is my favorite thing on the planet because
well,
I grew
gumbo,
up.
come over.
Yeah, I grew up on the Gulf Coast, and my grandmother was French Louisiana. Like her mother, just a couple of generations away from me, spoke fluent French from Louisiana. And so we had gumbo. Like I grew up eating rice with everything. So the culinary kind of connection there was huge. And so gumbo to me, like people ask me, like steak is number 2, but a bowl of gumbo for a million reasons is number 1 on my list.
It is. Mine
Are
too.
you a dark roux guy or a light roux guy? Do you have or do you just like it all?
I like it all. I like whatever's good. I'm kind of like in the middle. I like that, a middle roux.
Yeah.
Not too dark, not too light.
Okay.
I like it right there in the middle.
Do you do you and your wife, do y'all make gumbo at home?
Well, see, I cook a lot of stuff.
You're the cook, right?
Me and Pastor Micah are similar. We love to cook.
Yeah. Pastor Micah being the campus pastor of Midtown.
Yeah, Pastor Micah. And
he's a great cook.
Great cook. He cooks for us for Elevate Wednesday every time. He's amazing. But that has been my one dish that I have not tried. I guess it's just out of
Same
fear
here.
because I'm afraid to mess it up.
Well, my grandmother, who made it all the time, she would say that it cost around $100 to make a really good seafood gumbo. And so she recommended that you start with like a chicken sausage gumbo, much, much more economic. And then if you mess it up, it's not like devastating.
Yeah.
An economic crisis, right? Wow, that's great, man. So we love what's happening at Midtown. And of course, you coming on the team, to me, buildings are tools. And we were given that property in those, I think it's like 75,000 square feet. It's crazy the amount of space.
It's enormous.
But it was just sitting there basically, and so that group of people that gave us that property, they believed in it. Many of them still there, and now to look what's happened over the years, it truly is remarkable. It's a miracle, and we're so excited about it and proud of it. But when you came on, you know, as much as we're thankful for the buildings, it really is people. People make the thing work.
For sure.
And so Pastor Micah was certainly a game changer. And then Pastor Marcel and his wife Whitney, when they came on board. And then I would say you coming on board. Those are some of the big moments for Midtown that I think continue to move it forward. Right. And so your story is interesting because you came, you know, you were working with South Alabama.
Right.
So could you tell us a little bit about your story? And of course you're a husband, you're a dad, you love your family, but you were already doing some really great work in the community. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I graduated from the University of South Alabama, played football there on the first team. I hold that near and dear to my heart.
Oh, that's cool.
My wife and I, we've been together since high school, so she's my high school sweetheart.
All right. And her name?
And Amber, that's my wife. And then we have 3 boys, Justin Jr., Judah, and Jackson, and they are 6, 5, and 3.
Come on.
And full of energy. And so that's my family. And they are, you know, my why. They push me to go and do what I do every day. But before my story, before I got here at Three Circle Church was I was working at the University of South Alabama with the Upward Bound program, and it's a grant-based program, and we were going into high schools, mentoring kids, doing all those sorts of things. Also, I was a youth pastor in the moment. You know, I was bivocational, so wearing many different hats, which I'm not used to doing. And so 2 years ago, God called me here. And when I came here, it's just been a breath of fresh air. Like I tell Pastor Mike, and he laughs about it every time I say it. I feel like a horse that's been freed from the stable to say, just run free. Yeah. And I've been able to just do what God has, you know, called me to do here at Midtown. And so I'm excited about all the opportunities. But we've started an after-school program this year, and I'm sure we'll get into some of that in a little bit. But we're just clicking on all cylinders right now.
Good.
I thank God for putting me in a place with this experience, because I tell people all the time, being a young African-American male, I don't know of many places where I can go and be in full-time ministry in this area. Wow. So for me, I think I was talking to TC, the student pastor here. He was, you know, asking me, what's my 3 to 5 year goal plan? And he's like, if it's, you know, you see yourself going somewhere else, that's fine. I was like, well, I honestly don't see myself going anywhere else, because I can't, the access for me is not that readily available to say I'm just going to go somewhere else and be a student pastor full time. It's not that available for
Well, I'm going to have to talk to TC and tell him to stop putting stuff out there like that, because we don't want you to go anywhere, man.
I think I just got TC in trouble.
Yeah, TC's in big trouble. Paul, our producer here, Paul, will you just mark it down, and we'll deal with that later. Maybe what we should do is tell him we want him back on the podcast, and then get him in here without setting it up, and then just have a conversation about, hey, why did you tell Justin it was fine if he, you know, went somewhere else? I mean, what are we doing here, right?
I mean, I think it'd be perfect. We're in the Crucial Conversation series right now. So
That's right.
It's a good segue.
TC, we need to have and if for people who don't know, TC is our global student pastor, and what are we going to do with this guy?
We're going to have a Crucial Conversation.
Okay, so Justin, for everyone to know, they probably see, I think you've shot some of our videos, kind of announcement videos and things like that in the past, but you also, one of your passions, besides the community, you love that community, man. You love those kids. You love those families. You're also a communicator.
Yes, sir.
And what I've enjoyed, just that's kind of my world, my lane, is seeing your passion for that, hearing you. You're a unique voice, and I don't just mean your vocal cords. I mean you have a point of view, which I love. I think it's very powerful. And you have a love for the scriptures and a love for the gospel. You're serious about theology, serious about getting it right. And so that's been really fun to watch that. Tell us how you think the experience of preaching, not just for the students, but also often you're one of the teachers of that campus. Right. How has that grown you as a communicator and as a theologian?
Yeah, the past 2 years have been, it's been great as far as, you know, communicating and being a teacher. And I taught this past Sunday, but one of the things I've known is things have gone to the next level. And I think back to that moment when I didn't even know I was kind of interviewing when I came here to talk to you with Pastor Russell.
We like to do it that way where people
Yeah.
don't really know what's happening.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. He lit your candle. He's like, "Hey, so tell me." We just kind of got into it. And so one of the things I remember saying to you was that, hey, I'm a little rough around the edges. And you said, we would love for you to keep your characteristics and who you are, but we want to smooth some of those edges out.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, since I've been here, some of those edges have been smoothed out in my delivery, just in my, just overall growing in my theology and in the word, just all the resources and bringing in people like Larry Osborne and bringing in those like high caliber people to help hone in on the gifts, not only with how we lead people, but also how we communicate.
Yeah.
And so I've been enjoying being a learner in this season, just learning different ways of how to prepare, of how to like I love to communicate. Like that's one of my things. Like when I'm preparing and I get that burning feeling like, oh yeah, this is it right here. And I grab hold to it and
it's magical, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing. But I know when I'm preparing and I get that feeling, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the money. It's the money shot right there. And so but yeah, the last 2 years have been great. Just being able to, like I said, smooth out some of those rough edges and just take it to the next level. And, now in this season, just trying to find those little things that I can tweak to make adjustments in my delivery. But man, I love the opportunity to be able to communicate. I'll be teaching again on December 22nd. So I just found out this morning. So I'm excited about that already.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Excited.
And I love that. I love that passion and your commitment to excellence. So just so people know what's happening at Midtown. So our Midtown campus is in an extremely urban area.
Right.
And it's kind of at a crossroads, right, economically. You and I were talking before the podcast about the fact that there's a luxury apartment complex being built. How far would you say it's going to be from our campus?
Man, a stone throw away.
A stone throw away. Yeah. And that, who would have even seen that coming 10 years ago?
Yeah.
But you still have an incredible amount of poverty, right? And we were talking about the gas station, this kind of a hub for, we know, a lot of crime. And and it's amazing, it's like this interesting crossroads of all of these worlds and all of these races and all these economics just colliding there, right? But you see it with the kids. Talk to us about the student ministry of Midtown and the next generation. What do you see happening there, and what kind of impact are you and our campus having there?
Yeah, one of the things that I've been seeing is growth and just focusing in on spiritual growth and not numerical growth. And I tell this to our students all the time. I want to raise up students that make hell nervous and make hell tremble, because these kids are going to not only be believers, but they're going to be doers of the word and go out. And we're starting to see that. We've baptized, I don't know how many kids this year alone.
It's amazing.
And so it's just, it keeps happening. And so we've grown numerically, and also we're growing spiritually, but we have our population of students, they walk to church. So it's not like here you would probably have all the kids maybe driving or getting dropped off by parents.
Your kids are walking.
They're walking. And
how does that change? What does just that little thing, that little nuance, which is why I'm so committed to us being locally contextualized,
right?
Because that is unique. No other campus that we have has that dynamic. How does that affect things?
Well, I think it sometimes it gives it that community feel.
Okay.
A lot of churches now, we're kind of out in areas where we're not in the community as far as the building goes, and so being right there smack dab in the middle of Imogene and Sage, it gives us an opportunity to still have that community feel where kids walk to church. And back in the day when it was before it became Three Circle, like families used to walk to church way back in the day, probably before my time. Yeah. They used to walk to church.
They probably walked 50 years ago to that church in that neighborhood.
Exactly. Right? And so just seeing that with the students, but it does come with the a negative side of it where there's not as much parent involvement as I would like.
Okay.
Right. So we have a lot of students who come and bring themselves. We have a lot of kids that are raising themselves in their siblings. And so it's good that they're coming, but also I'm like, I wish that we had more parents involved in what's going on, at Midtown. Some are, there and they're aware of what we have going on, but some, it's just like, the kids are just hungry to come to church. And
Mm,
I mean, and it's not just, at first I thought it was just, to play basketball and to get pizza or whatever, but now they're seriously coming
yeah.
to get the word and have community. And so it's
Yeah.
been good.
And you've said that because when we took over that campus, the gym was like, I think it was on the table for us to maybe just demolish it.
I
It was in
remember what it looked like.
yeah, it was in such bad shape.
Yeah.
And then we decided, no, we're going to bring this thing back to life. We invested heavily in that gym. Would you say that gym has been a tool for you?
The gym is more than a tool.
Okay.
It's the hub of what we do.
Wow.
We have a basketball team that we started 2 years ago, and so we play in the Mobile Baptist Association League, play against
Yeah,
different
good.
churches, and so this is our third year. We've just got started. We're gonna have to split into 2 teams this year because
Really?
we have multiple kids that are playing, and not only are they on the team, but church is a requirement. It's not like no church, no play. If you don't
Wow.
show up for
Love
church,
that.
you don't play. Because I tell them, you can come here for basketball all day, but we want you to get Jesus.
Maybe
first.
we should try that over here in Fairhope.
Hey.
We'll just tell people,
Yeah.
no church, your kids can't play
Yeah.
ball.
That's how we do it. Yeah. I feel like it's just calling them, hey, if we're going to be generous enough to pay to be in this league, pay for 2 teams, then at least you can come
Yeah.
and give us some time and pay attention to what we
Hey, I
what we
love
have
that.
to present. And we've had 3 weeks ago a kid that played on our basketball team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He got baptized. He hit me up and called me.
Come
He was like,
on.
hey, I just want to let you know, I've been going through some things in life, and I feel like this is God's time telling me it's time to get baptized. So I counseled him, and I'm currently mentoring him now,
Wow.
checking in weekly, like, hey, what are you doing?
Mm.
What and that all stemmed from that gym being renovated and us having that basketball
Yeah.
team. And so that's why it's kind of the heartbeat of what we do.
Mm.
I know it's like I say, it's not about kids coming to play basketball, but it's giving them an opportunity to not be on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we still keep open gym from 4:30 to about 6, and then we start church at 6.
That's great.
Yeah. It's a game changer.
Okay. We mentioned Midway.
Yep.
And it's kind of, so we have 3 Circle Midtown, the campus. Then we have the nonprofit,
Correct.
which is for Midtown.
For Midtown, right.
Which is an awesome thing and only picking up steam. We're
Right.
excited about that. But talk to us about Midway because you're deeply involved in that. What does that look like?
Yeah, so Midway it's been my it's been my baby. It's been some birthing pains.
Sure.
It's the thing that kept me up at night when I first started working here. I'm like, how are we gonna get this thing off the ground? Like they're like, hey, we want to start an after school program. And I'm just sitting here like, how are we gonna do this? And so I just started to use the tools that I had, my toolbox to, help it get going. But
that you developed.
Yeah,
Right?
most
God
definitely.
God filled that toolbox up.
Of course.
Which is one of the reasons we were so excited to bring you on the team because you'd been doing so much of this in the community already. And we were like, man, what if we teamed up?
Right. And it's been great ever since. But Midway, it falls under the umbrella of For Midtown, which is our nonprofit, and so it operates as I tell people I wear multiple hats, but my main 2 are student pastor. I have to take that one off and put on the Midway hat, and
Okay.
so it's kind of hard because it looks similar, but it's so different in what we do. But Midway is a youth mentorship program. We've been partnering with the City of Mobile Parks and Recs, doing events and other different partners that we've partnered with to do different things to kind of people who are in the community who are already doing the same thing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Let's partner together and make it happen. And so Midway has been awesome. We started this year with our after school program. We started that in August. We started out with 4 kids. And God said, despise not small beginnings. And I said, okay, we're just going to keep it going. And so, we kept it going. And now we're almost over 30 kids
Seriously.
since August. And so kids can come there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6. And they get tutoring, they get a hot meal, and they get time to, play basketball or whatever. But they also get an opportunity to see people who are working in the fields that they can possibly go in. My main thing for these students in Midway is to not have an excuse when they graduate high school. You're either going to have a path to college, the workforce, or the military. We're putting all these people in front of you to show you that you can start making money right out of.
There's a path.
Yeah, there's a path. And we had a young lady, Christina Sashington. She spoke last week. She started at Austell at 18 years old, fresh out of Davidson High School.
Okay.
Went through the welding program. She's now 23 and she's a welding inspector. She's gone up the ladder. And so the kids were able to see her last week and say, wow, I can do this. And so the thing for us is to put people in front of them who actually are doing the things that they want to do. And so when our students first came in, I said, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And I said, okay, I'll get these type of people in front of you. Last week, a young lady said she wanted to be a lawyer.
Wow.
I have a friend who's a lawyer. I said, well, you wait right here. Let me call her. And
I love it.
That 10-minute conversation changed that little girl's life. She's like, you actually know somebody who's a lawyer? I'm like, yes. We're going to put people in front of you who are doing it to show you that you can do it. And the biggest part that I love about Midway, would you guess where most of our volunteers come from?
Where?
Fairhope and Daphne campus.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I love that.
We have dedicated volunteers. We had that meeting here before we kicked it off. Most of my volunteers are from the Daphne or the Fairhope campus.
That's incredible.
And they drive 50 minutes on a Tuesday and a Thursday
to be a part of that.
To be a part of it. And once they got there to see the kids, they are hooked.
Oh,
and
I bet.
I can't, they don't care if it's raining. They don't care what's going on. They're going to be there. And that just shows the beauty of us having multiple campuses.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
If anybody wants to be a part of that, we're open for more volunteers.
Sure.
Because we're going to expand. I know it's coming, and I want to be able to have the capacity of people to handle it. So,
wow, what a bud. Just having you on the podcast is kind of a shot in the arm because I'm just hearing about what God's doing over there. And to be honest with you, Justin, I can go back and remember the night myself and the founding pastor of our church, Mike Megginson, we rode over and had the first meeting with the deacons of what at the time was Sage Avenue Baptist Church. And I remember just because to me, the question, what if, is a very powerful question that can really lead you to some stuff. And I've always been a what if guy. You know, we all have our gifts, and one of mine is asking what if.
Right.
And so you are describing what was on the other side of that what if all those years ago. What if this place came to life? What if we were reaching the people of this community? And so, man, I can't tell you what a blessing it is to hear about what God is doing over there. So we've got Midway in place. That's becoming a real thing. I just love hearing all of that. Tell us a little bit about what you see the next few years. What's next on the list for you?
I just see expansion upon what's already in place. I felt like the first 2 years that I've been here has been getting the foundation right.
Okay.
And now we have a steady foundation. And with all the square footage we have, the upstairs portion of the family ministry building is not even done. It's an empty canvas for whatever. So in the next, 3 to 5 years, I look at that being a hub for student ministry in Midway, where we can grow from being downstairs to having different rooms and computer labs and things of that nature, where it's a fully functioning machine that just pumps out kids to different areas of what they need. And we're I just feel like it's time. That's why I want to get more volunteers in place, because I feel like we're getting ready to start to explode. We've already outgrown the student room. We had to move to the cafe. And so we made the student room a game room now. And so now we have a true game room, and we're meeting and worshiping in the cafe. But last week we had over 50 kids. And I'm like, okay, if 50 more kids come, how are we going to handle this?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like growth is getting ready to happen.
Incredible.
Yeah, students get ready to, go deeper in their faith. And that's where I think we are at the growth stage. We've got the foundation laid. Some of this stuff I can pass off to high quality volunteers. And now we can I was building the plane as I flew it, right? But now
we do that a lot.
Yeah, I think the plane is kind of built now.
Yeah.
And now it's time to kind of soar.
Well, there and you could take this too far, but I feel an urgency about ministry in particular, and it's kind of like those kids in that neighborhood that you guys are reaching. They don't have time to wait for us to get the plane built.
No.
And make sure we got it right. I mean, it's like we want to do things with excellence, but also we want to get going. We want to make a difference as quickly as we can and improve as we go. And
of course.
I think that's what's been happening.
When a kid tells you they don't think they're going to live past 25, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't have time to wait. That I have to hit it now, because that was said to me. I don't think I'm going to live past 25, because nobody I know is living past 25 other than parents or grandparents. But it's a sense of urgency. You have kids who come in who don't have hot meals at home. So why do I spend a large portion of my budget on food? Because kids don't have anything to eat.
Sure.
And ironically, my Bible teacher from Faith Academy in high school, I went back to teach to speak at Faith last year, and he said, "You're over at Three Circle." He said, "I used to go there when I was a little boy. I gave my life to Christ when I was 7 years old at that
Really?
church." And I said, "Get out of here." He's like, "No, I'm serious." And he said, "The reason why I came to that church because I was hungry and they had potlucks." He said, "Whatever you do, don't stop feeding those kids." I said,
Oh,
"You know
wow.
what? I won't." And that's what drew him in as a
That's
7-year-old.
crazy.
He came to church by himself without his family. And so now that's, when he told me that, I said, okay, that's what we have to do. I have a kid to come in and eat 16 slices of pizza, and that's not that's a true story. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're going to do, because we're going to be here to help them be, what they need. And it's just a need in that area for some
Totally.
light. For some light.
Well, and just for you guys who are listening and you've ever wondered, what's going on with Midtown, what's happening over there, you're hearing this story, this amazing story of this really church that had just kind of come to the end of its influence, broken down buildings and, but a group of people and a pastor, Phil Boyles, who was there at the time, who said, man, we want to leverage this for the kingdom. And then a church like Three Circle that said, yeah, we want to do this.
Yeah.
And it's been incredibly hard, incredibly sacrificial. But I think what's happening there is just incredible. And
it's because of the people's generosity. I mean, you think we talked about generosity this past week, right? Yeah. And I think it's because of the generosity of Three Circle Church that we are where we are today. And without the generosity of Three Circle Church, a lot of kids' lives wouldn't be changed, because that would be a vacant building sitting right there. Nobody probably would buy it because it'd be too much money to put into it. But the generosity of this church and God's mission and God's plan is fully at work. And it's so much more that, we can do and that will be done in the future. And I'm just excited to be a part of it, to see what God wants to do next.
Well, we're glad to have you here, man.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, listen, in closing, I want to do some rapid fire with you so people get to know you a little bit, okay? So you can attest that I did not set you up for this, right?
All right.
You ready?
I don't think so, but let's see.
Here we go. Okay.
All right.
Favorite Bible character besides Jesus?
Ooh, I say Paul.
Why?
I love his transformation, love his story, and love his directness and just,
All right.
his writings.
Do you have a favorite one of his books?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I can't choose just one.
Ecclesiastes?
Yeah, that can be one of them.
No, I'm kidding. He didn't write
I'm
it.
just playing. No, Romans is probably my favorite.
Romans is the Mount Everest, right, of the scriptures.
That's probably my favorite right there.
There's some debate whether Paul wrote Hebrews or not. I tend to think he did, and Hebrews blows me away too.
Yeah,
it just blows me away.
Yep.
Okay. So what is your quiet time? Are you early morning quiet time person? Or are you a late at night person? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, me, it's morning time. Okay. I really just started working out probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. Getting in the gym heavy, kind of getting back to my roots of how I was in college, because I realized I was like, hey, dude, you've got to do something to get this stress out. And that's become my time of focus. Work, even though it's loud in the gym or you may have headphones, it's still quiet. On the inside for me, that's where I feel peace.
That helps you.
Yeah, I feel peace. And getting in the sauna for 20 minutes is just I'm in there, worship music in my ears, praying, 5 o'clock in the morning, Lord, what do you want this day to look like?
Wonderful.
How do you want me to impact the world?
What's your life in the Word like? What's your discipline in feeding your own soul the Bible? Yeah,
I recommend people, and I tell people all the time, get your Bible plan. For me, it was hard. Just to be in the Word, younger, so as I matured and got older, I love me a good Bible plan to help me to dive into it, to let me pick apart the Bible and look at it from different perspectives. And so, that's where I'm at right now. It's just daily Bible plan. I follow
Good.
it, I dissect it, and then that leads to me going off a rabbit trail, looking at something else.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, hours pass by.
Well, you know the old adage, failing the plan is planning to fail. So I
Mhm.
think even, anything important needs plan.
Oh yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
agree with you 100%. Whatever that plan is, get in the word and don't just have this random thing going, but actually, here's what I'm
Yeah,
doing every day.
yeah,
Pretty important.
yeah. For me, it's just saying, okay, I'm just going to open the Bible and find something to read. That it doesn't work for me like that. I have
Mm,
to have a plan, like, and that
yeah.
helps me out.
Your favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one. It's a hard one. Maybe remember something football related. Maybe remember the Titans or something like that.
Yeah, I love it.
That's a good one. Anything sports related.
Anything, right? Denzel.
Yeah, Denzel. Yeah,
Gladiator comes
Gladiator's
out this
coming out.
weekend.
Yep,
I can't
yep.
wait to see Denzel in that.
Yeah. Anything sports related or with a
He's
good
pretty
story.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Let's see. So your favorite genre of music? Because I know you're a music guy.
Ooh. I mean, I'm a huge worship. Like, I love worship music.
Okay.
Like, my stepdad had to go to the hospital the
This
other
was a
day.
perfect opportunity for you
Yeah.
to say Midtown, Marcel.
Well, yeah, I could have. Well, I mean, he falls in the worship category.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's true. That's true. Yes.
So, but yeah, I was in the hospital with my stepdad the other day, and he was in so much pain, and so I started playing worship music, and it just like the pain just started
Lifted
to
his
subside,
spirits.
and it just, yeah, I love worship music. Outside of that, I grew up on it. I'm a huge hip hop fan.
Sure.
When I DJ now, it's Christian hip hop, so I
Yeah.
love a lot of different Christian hip hop artists and what they're bringing to the table
Yeah.
to blend the world of hip hop with
Right.
Christianity. And so I'm a huge proponent of that.
Well, how about Lecrae?
Love it.
Okay, so I was with Lecrae a couple of weeks ago
Wow.
at an event. He and I ended up getting to meet, and he has a huge passion for Bible translation.
Wow.
It's one of the passions of his life.
Yeah.
He just he just can't imagine the fact that we're living at this time in history
Mhm.
and we don't have the Bible in every single human language on earth,
Wow.
but we don't.
Yeah, we
And
don't.
so he has a huge passion for that. I didn't realize it. What
Wow.
a great guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Maybe
Really
we
cool.
should get him to come and perform
Do
it.
you know how
Midtown.
tall he is?
He's got to be about 6'5".
He's 6'5". I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah. I could
He's
tell
a
by
big dude.
how
Yeah,
broad
he
his shoulders
looks
are.
like a linebacker.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Nice guy, brilliant guy.
Yeah.
So far more than just the musician
Yeah.
people see, and
For sure.
he's got this deep passion again for Bible translation.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's awesome. So Mobile, Alabama, what a
Mhm.
cool historical city.
For
What's
sure.
your favorite restaurant in Mobile, Alabama?
Ooh, right now I would have to say in Mobile, would have to be what is the place? Front Yard Tacos.
Really? Where's
Yeah.
that?
It's down.
Is that by the coffee place?
By Nova.
Where by Nova? It's the trailer out
the
there?
trailer out there.
Brother, let me tell you what, they are amazing.
They are amazing.
I have for a while the president of the University of Mobile, the previous president, we would meet there whenever we
Yeah.
meet every couple of months, and
Mhm.
I talked, I finally was like, let's have lunch at the taco place,
Hmm.
and it just blew us away.
Yeah. I get
So
it.
good.
It's amazing.
And then you go in Nova and get a little coffee, and
Yep.
that's a great spot.
Yeah, it is a nice
People
spot.
don't realize just how beautiful and amazing downtown Mobile
Oh, yeah,
is.
it's amazing.
It is and is becoming.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
just awesome down there. So
For sure.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Justin, we can't thank you enough for saying yes a few years ago to come on our team.
Yes,
You have been nothing but a pleasure, and watching you grow as a communicator, as a community leader, and all you're doing. We just want you to know how proud we are of you and grateful for you, man.
Likewise. I'm grateful for the opportunity and glad y'all took a chance on me.
Well, guys, you got to hear a little bit about a great story and a great man today in Justin, and just so you know, this is what it looks like. This is what the local church looks like: hands and feet of Jesus. And we believe in the gospel and the spiritual side, and also serving people's everyday needs as well. And Midtown's really an epicenter of that, from after school programs to feeding people every single week, trying to utilize every square inch of that property that God gave us for His glory and the good of that community. And so guys like Justin and their whole team are doing an amazing job. And so when you think about it, pray for Midtown, pray for the team there, Micah, Justin, Marcel, Whitney, and the whole team. And also, when you think about it, that just remember we're in a generosity series right now, and just know that when we all give and do our part, well, the resources are there to do all the things God's asked us to do, and so we've seen that with Three Circle Midtown. So listen, hey, over the next few weeks, some more podcasts to be coming. You don't want to miss it, and so we hope you have a great weekend. Find a Three Circle campus to get to if you can. If not, jump online, and we'll see you very soon right here in the same place at the Three Circle Podcast.